What's good, fam? Drake is officially spiraling right now, and watching someone who used to dominate the charts with a single tweet fall this hard is a nasty sight to see. This man feels so wounded by what Kendrick Lamar did to his legacy that he is attempting to sue his way back into a winner's circle he lost long ago. We are looking at 117 pages of pure legal desperation that his team just dropped to try and salvage whatever remains of his reputation. It is wild seeing a man who claimed he was ready for war suddenly start calling for a timeout in the middle of the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. Drake is losing for good, and his latest attempt to involve the feds in a rap beef shows just how far he has fallen from grace lately. He is trying to use the legal system to accomplish what he couldn't do in the recording studio, and the entire hip-hop community is laughing at the boy right now. On January 21st, 2026, Drake and his attorney, Mike Gottlieb, officially filed a massive appellate brief to revive the lawsuit that Judge Jeanette A. Vargas dismissed last October. When the judge tossed his original claims last year, she basically told him that rap beef is a contact sport where the court has no business being the referee. Drake is now out here arguing that the court created a dangerous rule by giving rappers what he calls blanket immunity for everything they say in a diss track. Watching a man who spent years throwing rocks from a glass house suddenly start crying about the rules of engagement is almost funny to see. He is literally trying to argue that the bars on the song Not Like Us shouldn't be protected under the category of artistic opinion or rap hyperbole. This entire legal maneuver is a massive cope because he knows that Kendrick did not just beat him in a booth, but he dominated the entire culture. After Kendrick crushed the 2025 Super Bowl and kept that record sitting at the top of the charts, Drake's only move left was to hire a bunch of lawyers. Filing 117 pages of complaints is the ultimate sign that you have no response on the mic, so you have to hope a judge helps you. This is the same guy who said he had a folder of dirt on everybody, but now he is acting like a victim because Kendrick actually had a folder. It is some real clown asterisk T to see the self-proclaimed king of the hill running to the courthouse because he got handled by a real one from the West Coast. The details in this brief are even more embarrassing because Drake's legal team is actually trying to claim that the certified pedophile line is an unambiguous matter of fact. His team is moving away from the idea that this was just a heated exchange and trying to tell the court that Kendrick was making specific criminal accusations. Lawyers for the boy even pointed to the map markers on the single artwork as evidence that Kendrick was trying to label Drake's house as a residence for sex offenders. Vargas already ruled that any reasonable listener understands rap battles are a vitriolic war of words, but his team is completely ignoring that fact. Drake is essentially begging the government to step in and start policing hip-hop lyrics because his brand value took a hit and his stock is falling. UC Irvine legal scholars are coming out and saying that this appeal is a threat to everyone in the creative space. Legal experts warn that if he actually manages to win this case, it would create a chilling effect that stops artists from speaking their minds. Damaging the entire legal framework of free speech is apparently worth it to Drake just to avoid admitting he got outclassed by a lyricist. He is trying to frame himself as a victim of a corporate conspiracy, but the reality is that he just ran into a guy with better strategy. Seeing him try to use the law to win a fight he lost in the streets and on the airwaves is a desperate move with no other options. While Kendrick is out here collecting Grammys and setting new records for the culture, Drake is stuck in a courtroom trying to explain why his feelings got hurt. Fighting this battle in March of 2026 shows that he can't let go of the past even though everyone else has already moved on. Prioritizing your image over your talent leads to finding out that the world doesn't care about your corporate feelings. Drake is trying to play a game where he is the victim, but everybody knows he is just a loser who can't handle a real F*** king challenge. Drake stopped focusing solely on Kendrick and started pointing his finger at the entire corporate structure over at Universal Music Group to explain his downfall. These wild claims about the label using bots and secret radio payola to force Not Like Us into the mainstream are things he is doubling down on right now. His massive 117-page filing alleges that the company whitelisted the track on YouTube, which basically stopped Drake from using copyright strikes to kill the song. It looks like he is just salty because he could not use his industry connections to silence Kendrick once the situation started getting too hot for him to handle. Claiming a massive global hit only succeeded because of digital bots really shows how far away from the actual streets this man has drifted lately. Every person in the club was screaming those lyrics at the top of their lungs, but Drake is convinced it was just a digital illusion cooked up in a boardroom. This whole legal crusade is turning personal as Drake tries to drag the chairman of the label, Sir Lucian Grainge, right into the center of the drama. He wants the court to hand over the personal emails and text messages belonging to Grainge to prove there was some secret plan to ruin his reputation. According to Drake, the label intentionally pushed the diss track from Kendrick to tank his value right before he sat down for some major contract negotiations. Suggesting a label will want to sabotage their own biggest earner sounds like a reach, and the company already called these allegations artificially inflated nonsense in their earlier responses. Watching the former golden boy of the industry turn on the same executives who helped him build his massive empire is honestly some nasty work. It feels like he is biting the hand that fed him for 15 years because he simply cannot accept that the culture picked Kendrick over him. This legal drama is reaching a major turning point in March of 2026, and you can really see the pressure starting to weigh on him. Universal has until the deadline of March 27, 2026 to submit their formal response, and the whole world is waiting to see them dismantle his logic. He has even more problems on his plate since a separate trial about his stake gambling promotions is scheduled to kick off on March 20th, 2026. Fighting legal battles on two different fronts during the exact same month makes him look more like a career defendant than a world-class rap star. Lawyers are already laughing at how ironic it is for Drake to sue Republic Records, which is his own label, and a wing of the company he claims sabotaged him. It looks like he is trying to sue himself in a giant circle because he has no idea who else to blame for his own recent failures. While Drake stays buried under a mountain of legal fees and paperwork, Kendrick Lamar is busy writing more chapters in the history books of hip-hop. Kendrick officially moved past Jay-Z for the most Grammy records in major categories, and that proves his victory was a permanent cultural shift rather than a moment. One man is trapped in a courtroom arguing about bots and lyrics, while the other man is being celebrated as the greatest by the entire music industry. If the Second Circuit decides to keep the original dismissal of this case standing, every legal option Drake has to erase the win will be dead. This appeal represents his final gasp at trying to rewrite the history of this beef, but you cannot sue the public into liking you after losing the vote. Every new document his lawyers file just makes him look even more desperate and less like the untouchable superstar he claims to be in his songs. Before we move on and see how this legal play is about to leave a permanent stain on his legacy, tell me what y'all think. Is suing over a rap beef officially the weakest move in hip-hop history? Tell me in the comments. No cap. And while you at it, like and subscribe. Let's continue. This whole situation proves Drake is trying to drag a street fight into a boardroom because he simply cannot accept that Kendrick Lamar outclassed him on every level. Even if his legal team manages to stretch these court proceedings out for another year, the hit to his reputation has already become a permanent stain. Hip-hop history will officially remember him as the artist who tried to sue the entire culture because he lacked a heart to handle a lyrical roasting. For a guy who spent an entire decade acting like the toughest person in the music industry, this move makes him look incredibly weak. Kendrick Lamar has essentially solidified his legacy at this point, and that is because he did way more than just win a rap battle. He effectively dismantled the business model Drake relies on, which rendered the superstar a corporate plant who fears his own shadow. While Kendrick moves through the streets, celebrating his dominance over the culture, Drake remains locked away with lawyers answering uncomfortable questions about email chains and bot farms. It is a truly pathetic way for a career of this massive scale to begin its downward spiral. This is exactly what happens when someone decides to bring a legal brief to a fight where the opponent brought a pen. We are all counting down to the response from Universal Music Group on March 27th, as that specific date will represent the final nail in this coffin. Universal Music Group is expected to bring out actual receipts that make Drake look even more delusional than he does right now. They will not hesitate to protect their own corporate interests at his expense. This entire legal asterisk show is the ultimate proof that money cannot buy respect, and a person certainly cannot sue their way back into being cool. Kendrick showed the world that authenticity is the only thing that matters in this game, and no 117-page brief can change the fact that the people have already made their choice. Drake is currently fighting a war that ended a very long time ago, and he appears to be the only person who has not realized he is standing in the ruins of his own kingdom. The legal community is observing these moves with a mix of genuine confusion and laughter because a superstar suing his own label for a loss is totally unheard of. This desperate energy shows he has completely lost touch with how the world functions and how hip-hop operates at its core. If he truly wanted to win, he should have remained in the studio to work on his music instead of searching for a loophole in a legal contract. Tell me how you feel about Drake trying to sue his own label in the comments, because I really want to know where you stand on this move. You should hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated on these developments as we get closer to that deadline in March. We should continue to watch how this plays out, because the fall of an empire is always a wild thing to witness in real time. This is the natural result of prioritizing a massive ego over the music and finding out the culture does not owe you anything. Drake is losing for good, and there is no court in the land that can give him his dignity back after this embarrassing display. He will be remembered as the artist who tried to break the system simply because the system stopped favoring his career. Kendrick is the undisputed king of the moment, while Drake is just a guy with a very expensive legal bill and 0 hits to show for his trouble.